Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. You're here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's Friday, heading into a long weekend here in the U.S. and perhaps other areas of the globe. In fact, Trish, I've gotten a couple, and we talked about this on a show once, how through the pandemic and everybody's working from home, and a lot of the people we work with and work alongside of and partner with are all working from home for all this long amount of time. There was very few out of office auto replies. Like the number of those you would get just declined dramatically. Like I would go weeks and weeks and weeks without seeing one because people basically weren't taking vacations. Today, I've already gotten two out of office pingbacks. Yeah, a lot of companies, Trish, and it's a good thing, I think, gave their employees today off as well to give them an extra day on the long weekend.
Oh, that was nice.
A couple of companies that I was talking to this week have done that. So long weekend. Not for us. I guess we're still working. Fair enough.
I was going to say, why didn't we do that? We're the bosses.
We should have. We may. The weekend may start right after this show. So, Trish, I have a question for you. Actually, a news item and then a question.
Okay.
So this is a little bit earlier this week. So you may have seen this, Trish. Senator Bernie Sanders. You may be familiar with him, the Bern.
I'm familiar with him, but I didn't see anything about him this week.
Senator from Vermont. Apparently, his rider, his travel rider, which is known as the Senator Comfort Memo, leaked. So this is where like a touring rock band or an artist or anybody, a star of some kind of celebrity, has their list of things that they want at the venue, at the hotel, right? For them. So apparently Senator Sanders wants his hotel room, Trish, cooled to a chilly 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 60. What? He had some certain kinds of snacks he wants there. Some Gatorade, a particular type of tea he likes to drink. And it was pretty funny that leaked, especially the 60 degrees part. But so here's my question, Trish. What's on your travel rider? What's on your memo? What are you sending in advance that you want for you waiting in the hotel room when you get there?
You know what? I think I must be a pretty easygoing person because I probably wouldn't even have one, even if I was super famous. I don't know if I'd have one. I would probably like to have some good snacks. For me, that would probably consist of Cheez-Its because there's never a bad time for Cheez-Its. Really, even if you just eat one or two, it's still like makes me feel really good. Iced tea, not sweetened, unsweetened with sugar on the side. Okay. I mean, it's reasonable, right? It's not like I don't know. I think. You know what? I just would like a really, like an extra nice blanket, like a throw of some sort. I would want that because I always kind of get weirded out whether or not a bed at a hotel is like clean or not. So I usually travel with my
own. Ask too many questions.
Yeah, I know. I try not to think about it, but I always bring my own blanket, like just a little throw. So that would be nice. Just to have it there already would be good. But I have to tell you, it's funny. Mine would be more like while I'm traveling. I like certain things while I travel. And we haven't traveled in so long that it's funny. So our friend, Dr. Matt Stalick, is kind of like my supplier when it comes to what I need when I travel because I love to read New Yorker magazines.
Okay.
But I don't have a subscription. So he sends me all of the ones he's read because he has a subscription. But we're recycling.
That's like the oldest fashioned kind of version of sharing a Netflix password, I think.
Right? He does. He sends me his New Yorker magazines. And then once in a while, he'll send one of my favorite candies, which are like these little cherry ball things. And I save them. When he sends them, I don't eat them at home. I wait. And I take when I travel, and I don't read the magazines at home.
Right.
But when I travel, the magazines go in the bag, and the little sour cherry balls go in the bag, and that's like my travel from Matt Stalick. So thanks.
Nice. Well, that's cool. Good. I think that's a good answer, Trish.
What about you? Good. What would you bring, or what would you want?
I kind of like the cooling down the room thing. I like to keep the hotel rooms kind of cold as well. Maybe not 60. That's a little bit too cold.
I feel like he's trying to preserve himself at that point.
Maybe about 60. Maybe about 64 or so. Some Gatorade. I'm along with the Bern on that. I like Gatorade. That's kind of my go to bed Gatorade bottle next to the bed kind of drink. I do that. So yeah, but I'm pretty simple as well, Trish. I do think though, like I like in some of those Vegas hotels when you walk in and it kind of opens up the blinds as you walk in and turns the lights on automatically. Nice? That's pretty cool. And your name's up on the TV. I kind of dig all that. Okay. Yeah. So I'm guessing.
You know what else is nice? Some of those Vegas hotels especially will have like slippers in the room. And if they don't, I will tell you this, like whenever we go to events and like if a vendor has like a little like not a gift, but you know, something at the whatever. The one year I still love it. iSims, our friends at iSims had slippers. I still wear those slippers. Nice. They're so cute. They're so soft, like stuff like that. I like that. Anything comfort related, I think, right? Like it needs to be comfort related. So yeah. Oh goodness, wait, I got to put my glasses on for this and I have to put my readers because I don't have my prescription ones in yet. But look here. We're getting a hello from Lisa Sterling.
That's
Hi,
awesome.
Lisa.
That's awesome.
I miss Lisa. You know what? I'm glad that Lisa like popped up for us because we need to have Lisa back on the show. Lisa's doing amazing things in her life. I swear to God, that woman, if I ever think I'm driven, I just watch Lisa. She's like, she gets so much done.
All right, Trish. So for Friday, I'm going to clean out my notebook. This is what I like to do on these Friday shows. We haven't done, I only did one show with you this week, so I've got a few that stacked up. Trish, a McKinsey study released this week on the economy, on economic conditions. McKinsey study says 25% of people work in the gig economy, right? Contractors, gig workers, et cetera.
Right now.
But Trish, 62% of those people, according to McKinsey, they don't want that. They want regular, quote unquote, employment. 62% of the workers surveyed that were gig workers don't want to be gig workers.
Really?
They want regular employment. But in the same survey, executives from large firms, 70% of those firms want to hire more, quote unquote, gig workers. But the gig workers themselves don't really want to be gig workers. I thought that was super interesting. And I'm just throwing it out there. Don't make a comment. Don't make a comment. That's fine.
Well, no, I guess I would have more of a question than a comment, and not for you, for them. I would be interested to see what level roles are these gig workers doing, right? Are these more entry-level positions? Are they more mid-level positions? Like for me, I think there needs to be an increase in executive level gig work. And I think that's where it's not happening. But when you think about this, like any job I've had, once I got to be a certain level, maybe you too, you know, where I'd say like if you're at like the vice president or above level, okay? Sometimes you get in those jobs and you're there a few years and things get stagnant because you're with other people who've been there a number of years, maybe working their way up or whatever. I feel like you almost need gig workers who are at the executive level where you'd bring them in just and say, look, we just want you to come in for 4 months and like, or 6 months and like deep dive with our team because you're going to bring totally fresh perspective.
Well, that's honestly,
you don't have to cash in your political chips.
The counter to that is that's why you hire McKinsey, right? They come in and do that, right? In theory, or Boston Consulting Group or Accenture, right? That's kind of what they do, right?
I agree. But sometimes they're almost too contrarian. I think, I'll just say from working with consultants, I think that's one thing I would say this. As someone who does consulting work myself, that's something I try not to do. My job isn't to come in and be contrarian to everything you all have created or done. It's to really try and understand and point out that there could be improvements, but maybe there are 20 people in the room and 5 people feel this way, but no one's willing to like use their political capital for that particular thing. Well, I would have no problem doing that, right?
Well, that's the legendary thing, right? Was bring in the consultants because if you know the answer, but you can't convince the rest of the executive team. You bring in McKinsey or Booz Allen or Boston Consulting, and when they say it, right, then you get the ability to make the change. Trish, I want to pivot real quickly though.
Hey, I just want to point out someone here. Our friend Lindsay agrees with me. Executive contract work for the win. I think it's important. We'll talk about. Maybe we should do a show about that. Can we do a whole show about that?
We can do that. I'm plowing through, Trish. My head is down. I'm plowing through. Trish, recently, this is a little bit older, but I'm sure you didn't see this. Serena Williams, Trish, probably the greatest tennis player of all time, recently conducted or competed in her 1,000th competitive tennis match, individual match. Okay. Competed in her 1,000th competitive tennis match recently. Take a guess, Trish, what her all-time won-loss record is over these 1,000 competitive tennis matches.
I feel like I'm going to talk this out because it's like I'm on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I'm going to talk out my thoughts. Okay, I'm feeling like I'm probably going to guess higher than what it is because I feel like I'm thinking greatest of all time. It's going to be a really high number, but I also feel like we're going to be surprised at how low it might be.
Okay.
So I'm thinking if in sports terms, right? This is probably not a scientific experiment, but okay, if you're batting 500 in baseball, you're doing pretty damn good.
You are, but not in tennis. If you're only winning half your matches, you are not the greatest tennis player of all time.
Correct. So I'm going to say 91%.
That's very close, Trish. It's a little less than that, 85%. She has won 851 and lost 149 of her first 1,000 tennis matches. So the thing that was surprising to me was the greatest tennis player of all time has lost a lot of matches. That's a lot of matches to lose, right? 150 matches. But I mean, she's had a really long career and won lots and lots of titles. So she's definitely the greatest of all time. But still, you cannot win them all. Trish, one last one from me, and then I'm out.
It doesn't matter what I think.
The Friends reunion. Are you a Friends person? Did you see it?
I watched it. I watched it last night.
Let's have your comments on it real quick.
I will not give a single thing away other than to say it is good. It's worth the watch. If you've ever enjoyed Friends at all, definitely please watch it. I even cried. I cried. I know, it's touching. You know why? Because they're our friends. They really are people that we relate to. And so it's funny to see them come back.
Yeah.
Because they're frozen in time, right? If you turn on Friends, they're still 20s, right? And we're aging and they're in their 20s. It's interesting. Even though we see Jennifer Aniston in the entertainment news all the time, and maybe the others once in a while a little bit.
A lot of skincare commercials, I noticed.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, to see the six of them sitting together, my favorite part, can I tell my favorite part though? They actually have a portion of it where they sit around the table and pick some scenes from some of the favorite episodes of theirs and read. They do the reading, the table reading. Now, it's hysterical just to watch they still have it. They still have that banter. They still have that chemistry. Yeah. Awesome. And can I also say one controversial thing? I don't think I would be friends with Lisa Kudrow.
All right.
I don't think I like her as a human very much. I just
okay. I didn't know this.
I always felt like Phoebe is a very likable character. I feel like
I did not know.
Joe kind of came back and was a little bit like over the whole thing, like, I'm a little too good for all of you people now. Yeah, it was a little of that.
I didn't know the segment would go that way when I brought it up, but okay, fair enough. All right. Well, I did not watch it. I am waiting, Trish, for the Happy Days reunion with whoever from that cast might still be alive. Hopefully that'll be soon.
Alive. Hey, one quick thing before we bolt for the weekend, right? It's a long weekend, so we want to give people something to go back and listen to that's really, really good. We have a new show, a new podcast episode that just dropped. Was it yesterday? Today? When do we? Anyway, our friend Lindsay Mastro Giovanni from Paychecks. Please go listen to her episode. She's amazing. And she was also, if you haven't seen it, she was on the work break with me Wednesday when you were flying around the country doing who knows what. Lindsay was here for me. She's my backup girl. That's it. That's it. From here on out.
Good.
If you're not careful, she's going to be my ride or die.
That's completely fine.
I think she's enjoying it. Okay. Hey, listen, everyone, have a great weekend. Thank you, as always, for tuning in with us on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern.
Are we doing a show on Monday on the holiday? We didn't really talk about that.
You know what? Let's play it by ear. Can we play it by? I will tell you, I've got nothing else going on. So, yeah, if you feel like we could do a little quick show, I think we should do it. But if not, we'll see. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. We will see you back here next week.